Please welcome our friend, our champion, a person who has worked tirelessly on our behalf for a long, long time, both in the Assembly and now in Congress, Paul Tonko.
Thank you, President Phillip, and to you and Chancellor Zimper and to Provost Phillips and the entire SUNY Albany team, and in particular Dr. Hagris. Thank you for your vision, for your intellect, and for your marketing that you so very, very professionally do to advance the efforts of higher education and in particular the SUNY system across the map of New York and America and the world, because that is not a stretch. We're making world news with so much activity. You know, as a representative in Congress and as an engineer, that makes me an endangered species in Washington. But I think that we need more technical and science-based voices in the halls of Congress and in legislative bodies across the country. I think that the innovation that can come as a boost to our economy is a driving force, and we see it exemplified here today. You know, when the Chancellor talks about her many visits, it's not just being there to get acquainted with what's happening, but to also encourage the stretching of our thinking, of our own being, to think beyond the realm of the usual. And so I applaud her for that sort of leadership. And certainly the President here on this campus, great things are happening, and it takes leadership. And we thank George Phillip for being the outstanding president, and Provost Phillips for leading us in a way. We keep talking about public education policies because my other assignment is education and labor, and we're reauthorizing ESEA, Elementary and Secondary Education Act. But to the moment here, this is the sort of celebration of which we often speak, but we don't see enough of. And we're starting to move in the direction of bringing together this confluence of academia, of government, and of the private sector, and in particular, science and tech-driven industries. The realm is beyond measurement, I believe. The universe is for us to explore. And today, as we celebrate the celebration of this institute, as we speak to the RNA Institute, we know that it is going to open doors for great opportunities for cure, for exploration into research for certain diseases, and certainly to stretch, again, the opportunities in the pharmaceutical world. That holds great promise and hope for the people of this state and country, and certainly, again, the world. As the President indicated in his introductory remarks, I had the pleasure and the honor to speak to the graduate school at its commencement exercise, and to recognize that that was an historic moment of some 881 students graduating with their graduate degrees. And to then recognize that beyond that measurement, there were some 52 nations represented by the faces and the beings and the names of those graduate students, the graduate school students. That, I believe, sets the tone for this wonderful experiment. It's international, the culture here at this campus, and it is one that is driven by so many excellent schools, graduate schools on this campus. And so whether the infrastructure be the nanoscale science and engineering opportunities, or those of the School of Business or the School of Public Health, it is coming together in a format that allows us now to build a foundation upon which will now rest this RNA Institute. In my assignments, which were my top two choices, science and tech is exploring all sorts of opportunity to advance policy and resources that will enable moments like this to happen. The fact that stimulus dollars are used in this venture, the fact that you have requests before us to continue to pursue resources for the RNA Institute are a great challenge, but a great investment when we accomplish that investment in Washington. When we talk of an innovation economy, I believe that that will be the recovery pattern of the greatest strength when we go forward from the aftermath of this recession. And as the Chancellor and I were earlier talking, when we hit rock bottom and we churn and we're challenged and we're transformed and even asked to transform, when we do it with the utmost sense of vision and intellect, it's giving birth to an institute like this RNA Institute. That holds promise that will give us the growth of jobs here in this nation, that will embrace our intellect, our intellectual capacity, and that will allow us, through partnerships with schools like that of the School of Business, to advance the deployment of the success here into manufacturing and various other sectors of the economy. That then allows us to be an exporter of goods that were produced by American thought, American intellect, American vision, and American worker power. So this is a great moment of celebration and should be seen as one to challenge us to continue to go forward and stretch our thinking. Stretch our thinking in the area of innovation. When it comes to clean energy, think beyond the barrel. When it comes to high tech, think beyond the traditional. When it comes to medical research and advancement, think beyond the imposed limitations. Then we will achieve. Then we will be able to say that is truly American in spirit, that pioneer spirit that built this nation and impacted the world and addressed the quality of life for people around this globe. We see that happening now in a new culture, a new era, and in a new high-tech sort of concept that should empower each and every one of us as we go forth and challenge ourselves to continue to be part of the solution of building the innovation economy. Thank you very much. This is impressive to have happen in one's congressional district. I will be in Washington touting your success and touting in science and tech and education and labor the unlimited potential that exists here when we think and think boldly. Thank you.